Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
From a bionic plant that glows in the dark to a reactor that can create fuel by capturing carbon dioxide from air. These are some of the stories that we talk about on this episode of Scientifics. I am Mohana Basu, and every week on the Prince Scientifics, I take you through some of the top science stories of the week from across the globe. This week, scientists from the University of Utah have discovered a genetic mutation that can explain why some breeds of domestic pigeons have smaller beaks, a phenomenon that had baffled evolutionary biologist Charles Darwin over a century ago. The ROR2 gene is linked to beak size reduction in numerous pigeons. The same gene also leads to a human disorder called Robinow syndrome. The Robinow syndrome is an extremely rare genetic disorder in humans that is characterized by short-limbed dwarfism and abnormalities in the head such as broad and prominent forehead and a short, wide nose and mouth. Darwin was known to be fascinated with domestic pigeons, and he thought that they held the secrets of natural selection in their beaks. Natural selection is a mechanism of evolution which involves subtle changes in the inherited genetic traits of a population over generations in a way that makes them fitter for survival. But in the case of these domestic pigeons, beaks of all shapes and sizes exist within a single species. Sometimes the beaks are so short that they prevent parents from feeding their own young. Geneticists have failed to solve this mystery by pinpointing the molecular machinery that leads to short beaks until now. Also this week, scientists have discovered a set of fossilized footprints at White Sands National Park in New Mexico dating back to over 23,000 years ago, which shows that humans arrived in the Americas much earlier than previously thought. The footprints were formed in soft mud on the margins of a shallow lake. Using radiocarbon dating, researchers from the US Geological Survey confirmed that these were the oldest known human footprints in the Americas. The size of the footprints indicate that the tracks were left mainly by teenagers and younger children, with an occasional adult. The area also had animal tracks, including those of mammoths, giant ground sloth, dire wolves, and birds. This shows that humans and animals coexisted at the site as a whole, and now researchers hope to recreate a more accurate picture of the landscape during this period. Meanwhile, using nanoparticles embedded in plant leaves, scientists at MIT have created a light-emitting plant that can grow brightly for several minutes after being charged just for a few seconds with an LED. Although the same team had developed a generation of glowing plants in 2017, the new plants are almost 10 times as bright. The team wanted to create a light-emitting plant with particles that will absorb light, store some of it, and emit it gradually. The idea was to ultimately develop a plant-based lighting by using the renewable chemical energy of living plants. The plants use nanoparticles containing the enzyme called luciferase, which is found in fireflies to produce light. The particles are several hundred nanometers in diameter and can be infused into plants through the stomata, which are the small pores located on the surface of leaves. The particles accumulate in a spongy layer called the mesophyll, where they form a thin film. A major conclusion of the study is that the mesophyll of the living plant can be made to display these photonic particles without hurting the plant or sacrificing lighting properties. This film can absorb photons or light particles either from sunlight or an LED. The researchers showed that after 10 seconds of blue LED exposure, these plants could emit light for about an hour. The light was brightest for the first 5 minutes and then gradually diminished. The plants can be continually recharged for at least 2 weeks. Also this week, engineers at the University of Cincinnati in the US have developed a reactor that can convert carbon dioxide into methane using quantum dots, an advance that may not only help tackle the fossil fuel-driven climate change on Earth, but also provide fuel for human colonies on Mars. The basic chemistry behind this process is already used aboard the International Space Station to remove the carbon dioxide from the air that the astronauts breathe out. But the researchers from Cincinnati have now included the use of graphene quantum dots, which are layers of carbon just a few nanometers big that can increase the yield of methane. According to the team, this would mean that instead of having to carry fuel for the return trip from Mars, astronauts in the future could simply pump it out of the planet's atmosphere. By using different materials instead of carbon quantum dots, the reactor can also produce ethylene, which is used in the manufacture of plastics, rubber, synthetic clothing, and other products. Meanwhile, a study this week suggests that melting polar ice caps is not only contributing to a sea level rise, but also changing the Earth's crust beneath the polar ice caps in a way that its impact can be measured hundreds of miles away. By analyzing satellite data on melt from 2003 to 2018 and studying the changes in the Earth's crust, researchers were able to measure this shifting of the crust horizontally. Their research found that in some places the crust was moving more horizontally than it was lifting up. To understand how the ice melt affects what's beneath it, imagine a wooden board floating on top of a tub of water. When you push the board down, the water beneath would move down. If you pick it up, you'll see the water move vertically to fill that space. Understanding all of the factors that causes movement of the crust is really important for a wide range of earth science problems. For example, to accurately observe tectonic motions and earthquake activity, we need to be able to separate out this motion generated by the ice mass loss. This is Mohana Basu, special correspondent at The Print. If you like our videos, do consider paying for a subscription to The Print. You can do so through the link in the description box below.